While starting my AI agency, one of the most important parts to getting clients for me was cold emails. Now, cold emails are something that take a while to get good at, but in this video, I'm going to show you how you can make AI do all the process for you. Now, the thing about cold emails is most business owners will receive multiple cold emails every day, and they all look like automated AI written crap. What we're going to do in this video is we're going to get AI to write the emails for us, but it's going to include a personalization aspect. So it's going to research the person, research the business, and outreach them and make it sound like we wrote it ourselves. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. First thing we need to do is we need to actually find the leads. So to find the leads, I'm going to come over here to a place called Appify. So if we come over here and we look up Appify, it's going to take us to a page like this, and we're going to click this first one here. Appify is basically a scraping website. So you can basically scrape anything on this. You can, as you can see down here, you can scrape TikTok, Google Maps, Instagram, and what we need this for is to scrape a bunch of leads for us. Now when you click in here, you're going to obviously have to sign in and come over here to the Appify store and click up here to where it says lead generation, and in here is all of the ways that we can scrape leads. So we can scrape Instagram profiles if that's where the business owners that you're trying to attract are. All of these different types of scrapers. Now for me, I just want a normal lead scraper that I can fill in the details for, so I'm going to use this one down here, which is Leads Finder. I'm going to click in here. It's by Code Crafter if you want to use it for yourself. And in here is where we're going to put in a bunch of details. So you can see in here, we put in their job title, we can put in the location to include, we have the email status. So for us, we only want validated emails. So I'll click that, we put in a company website, etc. So in my case, I target real estate agents, and we worked with hundreds of real estate agents over the past 3 years. So this is what I'm going to target for now. So in here, we're going to select the file name and we're going to give it a name. So for this one, let's call it Managing Directors, Owners in UK Real Estate. And let's say number 3, because this is the ones that we've done. And in here is where you'll put in the job title. So for us, we are looking for managers, directors, founders, CEOs. So you'll put in like here, founder, put in founder, you will put in CEO, and put in a bunch of these things. So I've just added all of these ones. So we're looking for manager, director, owner, sales manager, partner, associate, branch manager, lettings manager, etc. So there are all of the people that we are trying to attract. Now after that, we want the location to be, let's say we want US. So we can put in United States, and we can select that. And then for the locations to exclude, we don't need to include that yet. Now for email status, obviously we can keep that as validated. Company website, we don't need that. Size, we want anywhere from 1 employee up to 1,000 employees. Industry, let's change this, and we can add in real estate here. So industries to include is real estate. Keywords, we can put in some keywords. It's not necessary though for most cases. We can press save and start down here. When we press that, it's going to start running over here like this, and then it's going to output some results over here on the runs page. So when we click in here, you can see it outputs a bunch of emails in which we can target. So in order to get these emails out of here, I'm going to come up here to where it says export. I'm going to export these as a CSV, and I'm going to press download. When we download then I'm going to come over here to my Google Sheet. So press here, click a new Google Sheet. I'm going to come up here, file, import, and then we are going to import all of them emails. So I'm going to come up here, upload it, and I'm going to find all of them emails. I'm going to import all of them emails. And now you can see we have a full database. So to make this look a little bit neater, come up here, formatted, convert it to a table. And let's also make these a bit smaller. Let's make these a little bit smaller over here. So now you can see we have all of the details, like the full name, last name, email, company name, their LinkedIn. We have their role in the company, industry, headline, everything we need to know about their company. We have their LinkedIn, their email. So when we have all of this information, and we're going to call this up here YouTube leads, I'm now going to come over here to n8n, and n8n is going to create the cold email for us. So you can see over here, the first node that I have is when click execute. So that's just up here, manual execution. You'll pull down here, select manual trigger, and connect it up to a Google Sheet. Now this Google Sheet one that we're going to use, we're going to search up Google Sheet over here, and in the Google Sheet we're going to press get rows. When we get these rows, we're going to find the sheet that we just made, which is YouTube leads. The sheet from the list is all leads added to campaign, and we're going to select that. That's basically going to get every row within that sheet. So if I run this really quickly, you can see it returns all of them leads, and we can click in here and you can now see we have all of the details about them leads. So we're going to fill this information into Perplexity, which is going to do all of the research and create a cold email for us. So the next module we're going to use is Perplexity. This is basically just a research node. So I'm going to select message a model, and in here we are going to use Sonar Pro, and in here we are going to say you are getting the information for a cold email of this person attached. The goal is to find out as much info as possible on the person and the company. We don't want any generic information on them, as the person will most likely know all of this, but we want information to make it seem like we have done our research, get stuff like recent awards, etc. Now, that's the prompt that we're going to use. So we're basically going to tell it, research a person in the company, find non-generic pieces of information, and output it so we can use it. And copy this, bring it over to Claude. And I'm going to ask Claude to make this a little bit better. So I'm going to come in into Claude, say, make this prompt better for the automation workflow for cold email writer. This is just the research agent. Paste in that prompt and enter. Now Claude is going to output a good prompt that we can use for Perplexity to find all of the relevant information that we need. Okay, so you can see it's now outputting the full prompt that we can use. It says conduct deep research on the target prospect and their company to gather specific, recent and non-obvious insights that demonstrate genuine research effort. Avoid generic information the prospect already knows about themselves. Okay, so this looks good. Wait for this to finish up. We can copy this now and drop it over here in n8n. If you want to get these prompts in the full n8n build, then click one of the links in the description where I leave all of the resources. So I'm going to bring that prompt over here, paste it into here, and then we have a full prompt that we can use. This looks perfect. We're going to change this to a system prompt, and we're going to add one more message, and this is going to be the user prompt, and this is where we add all the information about the person. So we're going to come over here and we are going to add all of the information about the person, like their email, personal email, company name, etc. Okay, so over here in the user message, we're going to put in basically just all of the names of the columns over in Google Sheet. And then when we click in here, we are going to map all of the variables. So over here, we're going to say first name, drag that over to here. We're going to say last name, drag that over, email, drag that in, company name, we can drag that over, website, drag that here, LinkedIn, full name, job title, industry, and just fill out the rest of this. Okay, so now we've added in all of these variables. You can see everything is in here now. This is the Perplexity that's going to do all of the research for us. So we can keep that as it is. And the next one we're going to use is a Claude node. And that's going to be Claude over here, Anthropic. And we are going to use Claude 4.5 Sonnet. And in here, we are basically going to prompt it. We can get rid of this, connect this up here. And in here, we're basically going to prompt it to create the cold email for us. So we're going to give it a prompt saying, here is the research. And we're going to put in the research from the previous model. And then down here in the prompt, the system prompt, I'm going to come back over here to Claude that created the first prompt for us. And I'm going to say, create another prompt for the actual cold email creator. This prompt should take all the research done from the previous node and output a cold email to the person with a focus on sounding non-automated, AI, or non-human. Keep it in a professional, human tone and never use dashes. Create the prompt. I can use that. We'll get this goal. So we just prompted Claude to create that prompt for us. It's going to output a prompt. We can put that into Claude and then it's going to create the cold emails for us. One thing I forgot to tell Claude is that we are a AI automation agency focusing in lead response automation for real estate agents. Our company is Work Ready AI and we work with hundreds of real estate agents over the UK and US. So we're going to add that in now, and then obviously Claude is going to output a prompt that will include that into the cold email. Okay, so Claude outputs the full prompt here. I'm going to copy this right here, bring it over to n8n, and I'm going to throw it in here to the system prompt. And then we have the full system prompt, tells Claude exactly what to do and who we are, and it's going to output a cold email for us. Now the next thing we need to do is run this so we can get the output from over here and we can put it into Claude here. So I'm going to come up here and press run on this. It is now running. It's going to grab all of the information from the Google Sheet and it's going to do the research on that person. Okay, so after this finishes, you can see that the output over here is all of the results. So we get all of the links that it searched through, and then we have the actual content down here in which we can see it does all of the prospect insights, recent role and leaderships, and it does the full research for us. So we're going to take that, bring it over here, and we're going to add it into, here is the research for Claude module. We're going to come down here, find the actual content. We just need the content, which is this one right here. Bring that over and drop it into here's the research, and then we can run this Claude module to see what happens over. So we can run this Claude node, and Claude is going to take all of that research and output the cold email for us. Okay, so we can check in here. It says yes, perfect. So we have the full email here. It says, hi Sarah, your company managing 250 rentals right now. That's impressive growth, but with 24/7 availability and your focus on personal service, I'm guessing you're fielding a lot of inquiries outside normal hours. We've built a lead response automation for about 300 agents across the UK and US. Most are losing 2 to 3 deals per month simply because they can't respond to evening and weekend inquiries fast enough. Okay, that looks like a perfect cold email. Obviously, we can add more information into this prompt about our actual company, if we have any testimonials, etc. We can add all of that in here. But when it creates a cold email, there's 2 things we can do. We can either come up here and send the email directly to the person, or we can add it back down to the Google Sheet. There's a reason why I wouldn't send it to the person directly, and that is because if you use your own email and you're sending multiple cold emails every day, then you have a chance of getting your personal email blacklisted, which is obviously not good. That's why we use stuff like Instantly, and they basically set up email accounts and send the cold emails for you, and that protects you from getting blacklisted. So that's why I wouldn't send them directly. But if you did want to maybe just run maybe 10-20 emails a day, that it should keep you completely fine and under the radar where you don't get blacklisted. So if you wanted to send the emails directly, then you could come in here and choose the email module, press send a message, and basically just put in the output from the AI over here. The person that you're sending it to is going to come from the Google row, which is this person here, and then you can add in a subject. Actually, we're going to take this email and we're going to drop it down here, and we're going to add in a subject here, saying AI automation for, and then I'm going to put in the person's company name. So we can put in a company name, and then that looks like a personal subject for them, and that will basically just run through every output that we get from this. So maybe 300-400 or however many we scraped over here. You can see this one scraped 2,900 results. So this would basically run through and send 2,900 emails, which are cold emails. Sometimes people will mark them as spam, so that is nearly guaranteed going to get you blacklisted. So you could limit this to maybe just put in a filter here and just put 10 emails at a time, and each time you run it, it will just send 10 cold emails. Or the better route, I think, is to just add them into the Google Sheet. So if we come over here, we press Google Sheets, and in here we are going to upsert a row. So we're going to update a row in a Google Sheet, and in this row we're going to select the table that we've just been working on, which is YouTube leads. YouTube leads over here. We're going to select the sheet, which is the same one. Now we need to select a column to match on, so we can come over here and scroll down to the end and choose row number, and then in here we'll just put in the row number which we'll get from the first node over here. Drop that in so it knows which row we're adding it to. Now over here we need to add the cold email somewhere, and we haven't actually created a column in the Google Sheet yet. So I'm going to come over here to the Google Sheet. I'm going to come here to where it says the person's email. I'm going to right click this. I'm going to insert a column to the right, and in here I'm going to add the cold email. So I'm going to call this cold email. I'm going to call this cold email, and in here is where we're going to add all of the cold emails. So I'm going to come back over here to n8n. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to refresh that sheet that we just created. So this one, now I'll choose this again. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to choose the sheet again, the same sheet that we were just working on, and we should see that cold email column in it now. You can see again it loads all the columns, and we have the cold email here. So we're going to bring this over, we're going to add in this cold email right here, and that's going to add in the cold email to the actual. Now it's going to update this row with the column. So I'm going to run this now, and it's going to update that row with the cold email. And you can see now that this is running. And after that completes, it's updated the row. And if we come over here, we can see the cold email to this person right here, which is, "Hi Sarah, saw your company has been managing 250 rentals." Everything in the cold email that you would expect. And it says, "Worth a 15-minute call next week to see if it fits your setup. Thanks, your name, Work Ready AI." So we need to just update Claude to let it know what our name is, so it doesn't output your name. But this is a perfect cold email, and if we run this now, it's going to do it for all of these leads right here. So that's the general idea on how I create personalized cold emails. If you want to learn how to start your own AI automation agency, click the first link below where you can join my community and see how I scale my agency to over 100k per month. If you want to download this full n8n build, then click the second link, in which I'll give you the full n8n build, so you can just drop it into your own account and start using it straight away. That's going to be it for this video. Leave a like, leave a comment, and let me know what you want to see next.